Well, 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 Mr. Schmidt, isn't it? Here comes the prodigal son. I thought you had been washed overboard. Please have a seat. I already heard that we have another guest today. I will introduce the group briefly. I'm Hanno Kroger, captain of this venerable ship. The gentleman over there is my highly esteemed companion, Dr. Frederick Kolweg. And to my right, we have Mrs. Kirsten van Groot. Kolweg, I don't think Schmidt understands our language. Probably comes from abroad.
You can respond to people with archetypal statements. The archetypes are tough, intellectual, and quirky. Your conversation partners react differently to your approach, depending on their own nature. A well-chosen statement can later benefit you and simplify communication.
Wow, a real tough guy. I like it.
The captain burps audibly.
The back. At first it was just a pulling in the spine or whatever the damn thing is called, but eventually it got really bad. The feet, that's what we call the doctor here. He pulled out his potions, and little did you know, I was standing straight on deck, like a young sailor's rod on the first entry into the golden corner at the port. You understand? When the pain comes back, I have the bottle in my hand and everything is fine.
Hanno, I've told you this several times. Morphine is a very strong medication that should not be overused.
I'm just annoyed. Since these incompetent lads are in the crew, nothing works anymore. Only Piepenbrink is useful. I ordered him to lead the crew. They are all like women, almost useless. I always have to keep the door to my cabin locked, because everyone here is a horse before the Lord. Yes, a horse! Someone who can do anything and knows nothing. Are you also a horse, Schmidt? Are you a horse? Oh, come on, let's just find out right away. Tell me now, what do you call the front, back, left, and right on a ship? The ancient horse is already yours. And now tell me the following. What is grog? Correct! And as we like to say, rum is a must, sugar is allowed, and water is not necessary. And now tell me the following. Kale is eaten with? Correct! You can also see it in your mind's eye, can't you? Delicious pickle. Well, now for something simple to relax. Everyone should actually know this. The 5 most important sailor's knots are clove hitch, sheep bend, figure 8 knot. You couldn't be more wrong. That's obviously the bowline, you bloody bathtub sailor. I'm sure even when you tie your shoes, you're struggling with knots. So, final question. Suppose you meet someone on the street in Hafstedt, and they say moin, then you respond with? That's one way to do it. And then? Correct! So now let's see if you are a horse. Yes, sailor, you've passed the test. You're officially not a horse. You can start working here right away.
The captain burps audibly.
I just want to quickly come back to the crew. It just disgusts me. Don't you know that? Schmidt, you! Sometimes you think it might be the easiest thing to just fall into...
Mid-sentence, the captain suddenly rolls his eyes and stares at the ceiling at an unnatural angle for a moment. His hands move to his chest as he suddenly collapses inward and loses consciousness, hitting the plates in front of him.
What? Do you not understand the seriousness of the situation?
Holy Mary! Is he dead?
For heaven's sake! Now it's really time. I just said it. One of you must fetch my doctor's bag. Quick!
My heart... I can't. I need to smoke first. My nerves are about to shatter. I'm leaving. I can't bear to watch this.
Schmidt, you fetch the bag. Hurry up! My cabin is on the lower deck. Just follow my vomit. Unpleasant story. Fermented coffee cream and leftover herring. But never mind. At the end of the vomit you will find healing. Just do it.
Thing, it would be a fresh lake trout, a bench, and my girl.
But that's 3 things.
Yes, but in one life.
The boat boy takes care of the lower deck.
Sure, you can go back there where the door is, but don't slip on the vomit.
This is where the trace ends. This must be the doctor's cabin. Picking up the bag is accompanied by a clinking noise. Immersed in the worry that you might have broken something, you realize on second thought that the clinking noise might not have come from the bag at all. The origin of the clinking fades away as your eyes confront you with something for which even the doctor's bag is of no use, namely, a sea of flames making its way through the cabin door into the interior. Flames lick directly in front of the door and the smoke fills your lungs. Flames lick directly in front of the... You discover an old book on the small table. It's titled Dangers of Seafaring and was written by a certain Knutbert Knudsen. The work is full of presumption, self-love and arrogance. For a moment you think to yourself, in the back of the book, some notes stick out between the pages. Evidently, they are a collection of various blueprints and recipes that were... You think to yourself, in your mind's eye, a blurry illusion takes shape. You see the church tower, the long fence surrounding the cow pasture, and the inn in the distance. And at the center stands... The urgency of the situation pulls you out of your daydream. It's time to focus on the important tasks. You put everything in your pocket. A simple stool. The stool appears to be made extremely simply. Although everything around you is going up in flames, you can't help but have a thought. A thought of home. Slowly but surely, the rising heat drives away your thoughts. However, an intense, deeply rooted fear of death sets in. You either have luck or you don't. Give it a try. You see, it works brilliantly. And if it doesn't work out, you can use skill points to compensate. But if they're used up, then you lost. That's called bad luck. You let the stool shatter under your fist with the uncompromising severity of Bavarian bureaucracy. A chair leg lies in front of you, the perfect object to strike something with. The window of the cabin is blocked with crates from the outside. Thick glass fills the frame. The pane shatters and the way out is clear, theoretically. However, there is practically no room for a body, as almost everything is covered with crates. Climbing out is not an option, but the water is within reach. You could reach it with a piece of equipment. Your hands, holding the bucket, stick out of the broken window. It worked! You have a bucket of water. The water should be enough to extinguish the fire. Flames lick directly in front of the door, and the smoke fills you. There is no way through the flames without help. At the end of your mental strength, exhausted and slightly smoke-poisoned, you stand before the flames. One movement, one action, that's all that remains to be done. The flames are reflected in your red eyes as you prepare for the final action. The water hits the fire with utmost precision. The flames fade away and the nightmare is over. A broken glass bottle lies on the floor. The clinking seems to have revealed its origin. In your ongoing conversation with the remnants of the bottle, two things become clear to you. First, the bottle doesn't actually have a face. You're just grumbling at your own reflection in the shards. Second, carbon monoxide poisoning can trigger potential hallucinations. It looks like the face in the bottle is nodding understandingly back at you. You feel like you hear a "it's okay" from the bottle. The way the shards are scattered on the ground leaves no doubt that it was thrown with great force. The smell of alcohol explains the origin of the fire. Someone acted intentionally here. You suddenly hear footsteps behind you. One of the ship employees comes running up and throws his hands in the air.
By the Hobgoblin! What has happened here? Clemens. Eric Clemens. I'm the one for the dirty work. Are you talking to the bottle? You are a disturbing character. Anyway, I'm the poor sod who has to clean up this whole inferno here. Did the fire come from this bottle? What a mess. It doesn't just ignite on its own, does it? The captain will punch me in the face if he finds out. What do you mean by that? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't speak Spanish. Where? I don't see him. Does he speak Spanish? Already done. But back to the captain. You know how he is. Probably had too much to drink again. Right, mister? Yes. And who is left again with all this mess? Me. Just look at my hands. Cloused witnesses of the two-class society. Makes sense?
Eric shrugs and proceeds to inspect the ground.
wonder your father left this family, the way you're acting here.
Yes, sir. I am sorry. I am ashamed.
I hope so. After all, I also suffer, because you are like this.
Mother, have you heard that there's a monster in Avstedt? One of the sailors said something like that.
There's no such thing, Johann Ulrich. You're a stupid fool.
But Mother!
Johann Ulrich, I order you to be silent now. I do not accept that you speak. Be quiet.
The boat boy stands in the hallway and cleans the walls and the carpet.
Moin.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Excellent, thank you. I cannot promise that I can save the captain, but I will do everything within my power. I don't have much with me, so we need to reach land quickly. For heaven's sake! Is the ship on fire? Thank God! What a heroic deed! That could have been our ending! How did the fire start? That sounds like an outrageous attempt to stop you, or even me. I'm afraid something is not quite right here. While you were getting the bag, I continued to inspect Kroger. Despite his alcoholism and physical ailments, he's a tough man with a strong body. From a medical point of view, it is naturally possible that alcohol is to blame. But I have known and treated this man for quite some time now. Alcohol does not kill him. Therefore, I'm thinking of an attempted murder. It would be a possibility. What do you think? Exactly. I will stay by his side. Please, quickly. Get the morphine from the captain's cabin. It's the door with the steering wheel, just behind the large bar. I found the keyring in his jacket pocket. Take it. He stores the morphine in a large wooden chest. Let's hope it improves his condition. Very good. You would make a good assistant, Doctor. I can't say, but of course I will do everything within my power. Your help is of great importance to save his life. Be careful and look around everywhere. We must be vigilant. And now, off you go.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse. Poems and songbooks for cultural evenings. Poems and songbooks for cultural evenings. This bar doesn't seem to serve any purpose at the moment. A teacup, still nearly full. You may not have a Frisian tea nose, but even you can tell that there's something wrong with this tea. A thought comes to mind, so absurd that you do not want to finish thinking it. In this tea, there is not only tea, but also a yellowish body fluid. You shudder, gag, and banish the thought. Impossible! However, your stomach says something else, as slight nausea creeps in. A teacup. Still, you may not have a Frisian tea nose, but even you can tell that there's something wrong with this tea. The restaurant is quite spacious. You could easily organize parties and banquets in it. The bar stools are badly worn. The stationery features delicate artistic pencil drawings. They show nature motifs. A young man is standing next to the bar counter.
Good afternoon, dear sir. I'm Emil. What can I get you? Pulled crabs, peeled prawns, crabs and roll, rum, tea, crabs and rum, crabs and tea, cake with or without a shot, whatever you want. I'm afraid I don't have that.
Only 29% of the Earth's surface is landmass. The remaining 71% is covered with water. You are standing in front of the door to the captain's cabin. When you put the key in the lock, the door just opens. But the captain said about the door that your subconscious contradicts you, and it slowly dawns on you. The captain said he always locks up. You scratch your head. Your thinking apparatus still needs to warm up. But then why is the door open? This door shouldn't actually be open, otherwise you don't notice anything else. You are standing in front of the door to the captain's cabin. You check your options. You are standing in front of the door to the captain. You check your... A big wave and clang. A big wave and clang. Did the captain really once steer this ship? Did the captain really once steer this ship? Letters, bills, newspapers, notes. There is no recognizable order. An optical measuring instrument used for astronomical navigation at sea. There is lipstick on the edge of the glass. There is lipstick on the edge of the glass. Numbers are written on the paper, evidently sums of money that Ahayo Clemens owes to the captain. An optical measuring instrument used for astronomical navigation at sea. Did the captain really once steer this ship? There is a big chest in front of you. When you try to open the chest with one of the keys from Kroger's keyring, you realize that the lock is blocked by something and the lid can be easily lifted. In the chest are alcohol bottles with different fill levels. You quickly realize that the morphine is not in the chest. A sticky, medicinal-smelling stain reveals where the bottle must have stood. The golden, decorated lock shows clear signs of wear. A piece of wire is stuck in the lock. There is a big chest in front of you. The piece of wire is jammed in the lock. Your fingers are too fat. The piece of wire is jammed in the lock. The captain is evidently only human, although with a cruel digestion. A lady's handbag. You are admiring the beautifully crafted little bag with golden embellishments. It would certainly be interesting. However, it would be extremely rude and go against your good Bavarian manners. In the bag, you discover a small cigarette case, a brass knuckles, a thin notebook, and a small vial labeled morphine. The small vial of morphine is empty. The brass knuckles are small but effective. A strike with this piece of iron in the right place and the light is out. The thin booklet catches your eye, on the cover of which a name is written, Kirsten van Groot. The author's messy handwriting makes it impossible for you to create a connection between words and numbers. All you know is that the bag seems to belong to Kirsten van Groot. An unusual content for an ordinary lady's handbag. There is a big chest in front of you. The piece of wire is The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
God beware, I knew something was wrong. And now a break-in? I'm convinced that someone has tried to harm the captain. But why the morphine? Where is it now? It's not to be trifled with. This medicine must be taken in a controlled manner. Schmidt, you have to find the bottle. Regarding the wire, we should ask ourselves where it comes from. Who could have access to the wire? Hard to believe. The captain collapses, a fire and a break-in. You must figure out what's going on here, Schmidt. Listen around. If my suspicions are correct, we should find and apprehend the culprit before this ship docks at the harbor. Fabulous! That's what I wanted to hear. I'm glad you're taking care of this. The captain mentioned his helmsman, Piepenbrink. Hopefully he can tell you something about the crew. I'm curious to see what hidden clues your detective skills will uncover. Please, contact me immediately if you find out anything. Good luck!
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Spit it out.
The doctor checks Thick, sooty smoke rises from the chimney. Thick, sooty smoke rises from the thick, sooty smoke rises from the chimney. The ashes have been carried away by the wind. The ashes have been carried away by the wind. A strong wind tugs at your hair as you gaze out to sea. The powerful waves lapping against the boat below spread the fishy smell of the sea. Miss Van Groot paces up and down restlessly.
Oh, it's unbearable. I urgently need my cigarettes from my handbag. Oh, I just can't find the bag. What a misfortune. Please find the bag. It must be somewhere in the middle deck. Cigarette. I need a cigarette.
Miss Van Groot paces up and down restlessly.
Ah, finally some good news. Would you be so kind?
She reaches out her hand.
Thank you very much, Mr. Schmidt.
Kirsten opens the bag and reaches inside. She hesitates, then pauses. The look she gives you afterwards is full of indignation.
I don't want to believe it. You seem to have taken my things like a mangy thief. What do you think you're doing? Well, I may have overreacted. You're just doing your job. After all, the incident needs to be clarified, and I've nothing to hide anyway. But next time, my dear, just ask me instead of stealing from me.
Miss Van Groot paces up and down restlessly.
What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it.
She looks a bit tired, but stands upright and confident. The skin on her neck and wrists is very red and a little blue underneath. These strange injuries don't look too old and should hurt, but Kirsten Van Groot keeps a straight face.
What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it. I have never seen a man just keel over like that. Oh, it's truly frightening how he lies there twitching like a fish out of water. Tell me, do you happen to have a drink for me? Just one little shot. Thank you very much. Very kind. What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it. Oh yes, have you found what you were looking for? What else is on the tip of your tongue? Do you suspect me, Valentine? Or do you just like to stick your nose into other people's business? That's none of your concern. Impossible, for it was not me, so refrain from asking questions. You have nothing against me. As I said, I am innocent, so let's talk about something else. Otherwise you will just be wasting my time. What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it.
The perfect place to enjoy the sun, wind in peace and quiet. What's in this bucket causes nausea and creates nausea. A cycle. A carving knife. Perfect for getting a piece of wire out of a lock. This hat withstands the wind. Impressive. The boat boy takes care of the lower deck.
Moin moin, I'm Hajo Clemens, and I'm sure I can ask you something, right? Do you know dice? Do you want to roll the dice? Well then, let's go. I'll go first and you have to beat me. So, in the dice roll, of course, not with your hand. We play 3 rounds. You only win if you pass all the rounds.
You win! The boat boy starts to tremble slightly. He looks around nervously. One! The lips of the boat boy show an increasing tremor. Sweat runs down his forehead. You have lost. The grin of the ship boy stretches. He holds out his open hand to you.
Nah, please give me the 5-taler steak. Right now, loser. That was incredibly funny. And now, hand over the money. Thank you very much. If you want to win, you have to push yourself a little harder. Here on the ship, Piepenbrink usually wins against me. Sometimes, I really believe he has some trick. But that can't be true, right? Rolling the dice is luck. You can try again anytime. If you win, you'll get your money back. Promise. What else do you want to talk about? Oh, that's good. That you make sure that nothing bad happens to the ass.
The boatswain mutters something incomprehensible.
Stupid. Yes. Finally. Deserves. Don't bother me. No, you didn't. What else do you want to talk about? That is the problem. But someday, I win the money back. Everybody must be lucky sometimes, right? Time will come. For sure. Maybe. Imagine. What it would be like if I hit the big time. That would be a dream come true. Always lucky? And why did you then lose to me in dice? Well, apparently we're both bad at playing, right? But what else can I do, except try to make up for everything? I can't ask Eric either. He always spends his money somewhere in Hamburg. Please, leave me alone now.
The food is already cold. The food for second class doesn't look very appetizing. As a connoisseur of Bavarian wine, you can only turn up your nose in disgust. This broth doesn't have much to do. The food is already cold. The food for second class doesn't look very appetizing. Small flies buzz over the food.
Now you want to blame me for this, or what? Shame on you. No wonder your father left his family, the way you're acting here.
Yes, sir. I am sorry. I am ashamed.
I hope so. After all, I also suffer, because you are like this.
Mother, have you heard that there's a monster in Avstedt? One of the sailors said something like that.
There's no such thing, Johann Ulrich. You're a stupid fool.
But Mother!
Johann Ulrich, I order you to be silent now. I do not accept that you speak. Be quiet.
When you sit here, you can feel the floor vibrating from the energy of the steam engine system working directly beneath you. You glance at the document. It is a letter that is not signed. A love letter with a few ugly spelling mistakes. The letter is addressed to a woman who lives in Hamburg. There are delicate pencil drawings with nature motifs in the corners. You dig out the stationery and compare the drawing on it with the drawings on the love letter. Clearly, they must be from the same artist. Black tea leaves stick to the bottom of the empty pot.
Of course, who?
The man is currently repairing some things at the rear part of the ship.
Moin, boss. Say, can you hold the steel gutter here for 10 minutes, please? Nah, that was a joke. You can't do that, of course. Are you overestimating yourself a bit, huh? Just wanted to see if you're a real man or just, well, your hairstyle and all. No idea. My mother is dead. Boy, oh boy, your sense of humor is really something, I must say. Do you know what else is really something? Yes, man. I'm Knut Binge. I'm the man for the iron, and you? What's there to discuss? Tell me. What? That's a bummer. Did Eric Clemens actually pull through? Well, color me surprised, considering how shitty Kroger treats the two Clemens brothers. Apparently he's paying the price now. You know what it's like to be treated like crap, right? It's no big secret that the two of them, especially Eric, target the captain. Just mention the word captain and he goes crazy. But I find it pretty extreme that he will go that far. I don't know exactly what happened, but I heard all the shouting. There's a rough wind here on the ship, not only on deck, but also among the crew. Actually, everyone here has a grudge against someone. You know the harsh tone at work, don't you? Lumpy? I don't understand. What are you doing? Oh no! Well, then I take it all back. If you don't even know what work is, then you can't know what it's like. So let me handle this now. But I hope it turns out appropriate for the captain.
The trembling hands indicate a certain nervousness. The smell of alcohol surrounds him.
What's there to discuss? Tell me. I hold the hammer in my hand and work on the metal in my workshop on the lower deck. Mending holes, oiling machines, repairing things, and so on. It's a tough trade, nothing for office men like you. What's there to discuss? Tell me. Do you know why there are keys? So that people don't get into places. Nope. Period. Were you born stupid or something? What's there to discuss?
The box contains some simple tools and strained rags that emit an oily smell. Between greasy fabrics and sharp tools, you feel a half-tattered, dirty piece of paper at the bottom of the box. You carefully free it. It is a The box contains some You are standing in front of a door that says workshop. The huge paddle wheel rhythmically breaks through the churning water surface and pushes the boat forward powerfully. When you sit here, you can feel the floor vibrating from the energy of the steam engine system working directly beneath you.
Get a freshly filled crab.
The boat boy stands in.
What else do you want to talk about?
Behind his apparently relaxed gaze, a diffuse anger sparkles. In his right trouser pocket is a small notebook on which something has been drawn with a red pen. It looks like a burning anchor.
What else do you want to talk about? That's complete nonsense. Where did you get this fairy tale from? Alright, you want to know what's going on? Then I'll tell you what's going on. I'm scared. Scared for my brother's life. Scared of what Kroger has done to him. And will continue to do. My brother is a passionate gambler. Even as a child, he always had his dice at hand. And Kroger noticed that. Because he is a disgusting sadist. He exploited this weakness of my brother and cheated him with loaded dice and cards time and time again. At first just for fun, but later it was about money. It got to the point where my brother couldn't pay his debts anymore. And then Kroger, that scumbag, forced Hayo to do his dirty work. Hayo hoped to settle the debts that way. But instead, Kroger took away even more money for every little mistake Hayo made. And of course, he was never rewarded. At some point it got so bad that Hayo that he took a damn rope and tried to take his life in our cabin. Do you know what happened then? Kroger, the dirty son of a bitch, found Hayo and cut him off. He cut him off. He cut him off with the words, "You're not getting away that easily, lad. First you pay for your debts. Once I have my money, I'll gladly hang you back up there myself. Do you understand?" That is Kroger's true nature. He is to roast in hell.
For the next few minutes, Eric Clemens stands before you in tears before his mood stabilizes again.
I don't want to talk about it anymore, so... What else do you want to talk about? Ask if he has friends. Then we'll be done quickly here. No. I thought you had already met the captain. That should answer the question by itself. Anyway, The situation is that the captain is a nasty piece of work, at least if you were born as a human and not as a bottle of booze. He treats people here like dirt, always bossing around and giving orders, that crippled jerk. If you were to ask me, pretty much everyone here would have a reason to want to get rid of the guy. But without a doubt, Binge has something to do with it. Knut Binge. The way he behaved yesterday, I'm almost surprised he didn't just kill everyone on the ship right away. He was bellowing like an ox that had a knife shoved into his throat. Apparently, or rather audibly, he heard something at the captain's cabin door that made him very angry. Man, that cursing in his cabin next door. I believe he was crying with anger. We were really panicked that he would burst through the wall and kill us. I'm talking about myself and my brother Hayo. Responsible for the dirty work on the ship. 2 men who scrub the vomit of some snobs for a pittance and kneel on the floor, scrubbing when Bavarian officials almost set the ship on fire. And when the captain has once again pissed and shat himself in a drunken stupor, who do you think will have to clean up all the crap by hand? But that's no reason to kill him straight away. How am I supposed to get anywhere near the captain anyway? If I show myself on the upper decks, that scoundrel would knock my teeth so far down my throat that I had to chew with the soles of my feet. By the way, that applies to pretty much everyone here. The only one the captain makes an exception for is his little dog Emil, the so-called cook. Since the captain took Emil on board, he has all the freedom here. He even is allowed to cook. And let me tell you, that's a delicate undertaking. He cooks like he reads, and he can't read. The only true connection he has to food is that he is as dumb as a loaf of bread. But no, I'm sure that was Binge. The guy is just out of his mind. What else do you want to talk about?
The steak emits an unpleasant odor. You wonder how long it's been here. Bread and cold cuts, the well-earned lunch of a hard-working ship's boy. The suitcase seems forgotten. The suitcase seems forgotten. There is a big chest in front of you. The piece of wire is jammed in the lock. You hold the piece of common wire in your hand. Someone seems to have opened the crate with it. There is a big chest in front of you. There is a big chest in front of you. A young man is...
Moin moin. What should I tell you? Coming right up. The poor young lady must be quite upset too. I can understand why she doesn't come to me herself to get the schnapps. It's probably for the best. Because I always forget what I want to say when she's facing me. Do you feel the same way? We have something in common. How nice! But she's really nice. The other day she told me about a profession. What was it again? No, that wasn't it. Here, the schnapps. What should I tell you? Yes, it's quite dreadful. Will the captain die? Can a doctor help him? Why did this happen? Was there something wrong with the food? If it was the food, then it's my fault.
Emil swallows. He is pale around the nose and his lower lip begins to quiver.
But everyone says I'm too dumb to cook. What if they're right? This bottle... Heavens! What if... No, I don't even want to think about it. I would never do such a thing. I like the captain. I'm afraid I'm to blame, because I cooked his food. The captain always wants alcohol in his food. Otherwise, he says it doesn't taste good. But this time, there was also a small bottle on the serving trolley. In the kitchen. Looked like a particularly fine job, you know? I didn't put the bottle there. Must have been some rum or liquor or something like that. I thought the captain would be pleased. Such a noble wine. I put the whole bottle into his food. It didn't look very appetizing. But to be honest, it never does. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want it.
Emil blinks and sniffs.
The bottle must still be on the serving trolley, near the kitchen. What should I tell you? Do you mean his death? I'm coping. The captain hired me right after father's death. That kept me quite distracted. Because I was quite sad. Actually, father's time had not yet come, you know? He wasn't that old. But that dreadful storm didn't care about that. Father wanted to secure another knot, the other sailors said. The waves were as terribly high as a house, and the boat swayed back and forth. Then a monster wave came and simply swept father off the boat, as if he had never been there. The storm raged on for another half an hour, and then the sun came out again. The other sailors said the sea had never been so calm like after that storm. You know, I'm quite glad that I'm in the kitchen and never really have to go out on deck. Captain Kroger knew my father well. They were both seamen all their lives. I like the captain. He tells me stories from the old days. I don't know where I would be now without him. The others hate him, but he doesn't have it easy either. Yes, he drinks a lot, but only to forget his pain. He always tells me that he feels death coming towards him. It would constantly be there, reaching out for him, to drag him down into hell. Since he started taking morphine, he's been feeling better. He takes it very often and then he just lies there staring at the ceiling of his cabin. Weird stuff. When it's all gone, he gets very grumpy. He's even gotten more of it at the port. But I think that's illegal. Last time, he cursed because the morphine at the port had become too expensive. He threw a glass against the wall and complained that someone isn't paying their debts. And that's why he doesn't have money for the morphine. Oh dear, I don't think I should be talking about that. What should I tell you? You think? I did the drawings all by myself. I don't know what you mean, but sometimes this really is a devil's place. You do rhyme very good. What should I tell you? No, I can't write at all. So, not writing and not reading. When I look at a page, all the letters jump around. I prefer to draw. There it doesn't happen. Binge has already tried to help me learn to write, but it's not working. I'm too dumb, he said. Well, I have no clue who the letter is from. Yes, they are my drawings. I drew them for Kirsten. Well, for Binge. Binge wrote the letter, and because Kirsten likes nature so much, he wanted me to draw the pictures. But Binge must not find out that you know this from me, okay? He will get angry. What should I tell you?
The flowers look surprisingly healthy. The bar stools are badly worn. The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Spit it out.
The doctor checks This bar doesn't seem to serve any purpose at the moment. A young man is standing.
One more? What?
The keys are dusty. Nobody has played here for a long time. A teacup, still nearly full. You may not have a free... You take a sip in your mouth, and at the same moment your stomach turns as the disgusting taste awakens an association in your brain. Piss. In a high arc, the sip leaves your mouth. Your mind refuses to accept what has just happened. A small, sticky bottle of schnapps sits on the serving trolley. The smell rises deep into your nose, and all your thoughts come together in one word: morphine. This is a serving trolley. The serving trolley has not been cleaned for a long time. 2 of the 4 rusty wheels are stuck. One is half broken out of its bracket. The keys are dusty. Nobody has played here for a long time. A teacup, still you may not have a... A young man is...
What should I tell you? Yes, that is the bottle. What does that mean? Peace? Peace is good. What should I tell you? Do you mean if someone has been at the serving trolley? Well, Knut Binger was at the serving trolley. I just thought you would finally fix it. And Clemens, Eric Clemens. Strange, I don't know what he could have wanted there. I haven't seen anyone else. Actually, he's always in the lower deck. I saw him crawling around in the corridor. It smells very burnt there. Certainly near his workshop in the lower deck, further back in the ship. But please do not tell the others that I said that. Otherwise they will be angry with me and bully me. But what do you mean? Understood. I shouldn't be sad because of that. The others are just stupid. Yes, you are right. Thank you for telling me that. What should I tell you?
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Spit it out. For heaven's sake, then I may not be able to do anything more for him. His body must endure this now, but it doesn't look good. Why on earth did he do that? So it really was an attempted murder. Who could have done such a dreadful thing? The truth must come to light.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Spit it out.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's... Empty bottles. Shouldn't someone who steers a boat be sober? The burly man stands in the steering cabin and holds the rudder.
Moin moin. Wait a minute. Look at me.
His gaze seems to pierce your eyes and aim directly at your deepest soul. You don't understand anything. The man's steely gaze seems to probe your brain.
Aha! You might be the chosen one. They say here on the ship that at some point a real host will show up. But you don't seem to be the person. Now that we have that cleared up, I am Piepenbrink's Hermann, but you can also call me Hermann Piepenbrink, or just Piepenbrink. Just call me Piepenbrink. That saves you words and me ears. Yo. But then I obviously punched him right in the face. What's up? What else do you want to know, my boy? When the captain drinks, he tends to tip over more often. There's nothing wild about that for now. What's rather unusual is that it's happening right now. He still has to steer towards Cruz's corner. Not that I have to do that, being the number 2 on the deck. I actually wanted to continue drinking as soon as the captain finishes dinner, because the divine order given by God must remain. The captain is an unbeatable, unique individual when it comes to steering, and me, when it comes to drinking. Oh, he must have given in to his frustration with these dullards. But it's understandable with such a bunch of dunces. Just doesn't quite fit in right now because of Cruz's corner. There have been quite a few ships capsized there. And when drowning, we're all the same. Whether you're a professor or Emil Barkov. No, you really make a fuss here, boy. That all sounds pretty wild. Actually, they are all quite normal sailors from Hafstedt. All a bit dim-witted and all heavy drinkers. Well, there are exceptions, but they balance each other out in the end. Emil is a bit dumber, well, significantly dumber. Though Bingle doesn't drink, can you imagine? Not a drop. I could never forgive him. That's clear, right? The Clemens brothers are in balance. Excessive alcohol abuse and obvious incompetence are in balance. And me? I'm just a Hermann. On ships in Hafstedt, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Sailor's code. The main thing is that you work. And that's where we currently have a problem. Well, there's one exception. Emil is not a sailor by definition. He's more of a passenger. The
captain took him on board after his old man. Well, the past is the past. Yes, and there's nothing more to say now. They should tell you everything themselves. Get the captain running again. On the one hand, I'm thirsty, and on the other hand, Coldest Corner is near. What else do you want to know, my boy? Absolutely. Between all the responsibility for the crew, I also need time for my love and attention to the liquor. And do you know what worries me, Lil? Some guy is distributing these mysterious flyers here and babbling about uprising and overthrow. Someone seems to want to get rid of the captain on deck. I associate uprising and overthrow more with the pub night than with work. Let's keep it that way. Look at one of these flyers. I saw one in the lower deck dining room earlier. It should probably still be there. What else do you want to know, my boy? There's something on the door called a door handle. When you press it, the door opens. You see... What? Who in the world has so much free time to go around a key? Oh, you're after the key, aren't you? How? Are there dolphins in the workshop or what?
Hermann Piepenbrink pulls a greenish-gray, shiny booger out of his nose.
There's no running away, kid. I have one more question. What do you want again? I don't have it. Who? Knut Binge, by the way, has the key to the workshop in case you need to get in there. And Hayu Clemens also has a key that fits several doors. You're making it difficult for yourself, my boy. Just ask next time how to get to the workshop. What else do you want to know, my boy? I will assume a crime. Oh god, he's just on time because he broke in somewhere. We all have to carry our own baggage. The debt has been paid. He's a good locksmith, and that's why he's here. You have to use the potential effectively. You are also on vacation for some reason.
Yes.
And And now you give me the note, and that's it. It's not yours. You know what you need to know. I'll take care of the rest. Yes. 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 What else do you want to know, my boy? Ha! That, my boy, is quite a proper question. But why should I reveal that to you, huh? Oh, well, whatever. I'll tell you. To win a dice, one has to be lucky. But there is a way to drink luck. Then you can use the luck in your belly to roll the dice. You're funny. No. Alcohol is the magic word. But not just any alcohol. Only grog. Mixed by hand has this effect, you know. Without the right ingredients, you may get drunk, but it won't help you with your dices. But if you do it right, then you're unbeatable in the dice game. Wait, I scribbled somewhere sometime. Here. There you get the instructions for a proper grog. One like no other. Oh, I almost forgot. Of course, you're totally drunk after 1, 2, 3 grogs. There's no way you can walk straight anymore. But there's something that will make you instantly sober again. Cold water over the head. Don't look at me like that. It really helps. You will be wet as a fish, but instantly sober. Somewhere around you on the railing there's a rope, so you can fetch yourself some seawater. Just need a bucket, if you don't already have one. So, now it's up to you, boy. What else do you want to know, my boy?
What's in this bucket causes nausea and creates nausea. A cycle. Miss Van Groot paces up and down restless.
What else is on the tip of your tongue? Oh yes, have you found what you were looking for?
Kirsten Van Groot gulps down the liquor like a seasoned sailor.
A shot doesn't cause a full-on drunkenness, Valentine. What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it. Ah, better than I would like. He's a depressed, old man who doesn't understand the youth and wishes for the old times to come back. He doesn't understand women at all. He was never married. You know, When one is surrounded by the rough sea and bottles of alcohol the whole life, the soul also withers into a coarse lump of loneliness and discontent. Contrary to the other men on the ship, I can see behind the facade of this grumpy captain who hides his insecurities and self-loathing behind misogynistic jokes. But I can deal with that. What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it. Show me. No, I don't know who the letter's from. Many gentlemen are chasing after me. Forget about the letter. It's better not to pay attention to it. Perhaps it would actually be good to know who I should avoid. Can you find out who wrote the letter for me? Knut Binge, the ship locksmith. I could have guessed it. Always stares at me like he wants to lock me in his workshop. The wildflowers that are always in my cabin are probably from him too. On this ship, you're making a fool of yourself. Only Emil is a nice guy. Honest and well-mannered, genuinely interested. Not just in what's under my dress. I agree with you, Valentine. You seem to have these qualities as well. And a healthy self-confidence. What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it. Oh, really? What else is on the tip of...
When we get to Havstedt, I'll get us a nice smoked
Theodor
fish.
Fontana's summer in
Sit on a
London.
bench and look out to sea. Choose one thing, it would be a friend.
The ship is moored to the harbor with mooring lines or steel cables to prevent it from floating away. Kroge must go. Kroge is a miserable drunkard who no longer fulfills his duties as captain and continuously insults the crew. He is no longer worthy of the honorable task of commanding the ship. It is time for him to go ashore and ruin other people's days with his ailments and mood every day. Do not tolerate it any longer. Show resistance, because without us, this ship cannot sail. Therefore I say, away with Kroge! Away with Kroge! Beneath it, the symbol of a burning anchor is displayed. The boat boy stands.
What else do you want to talk about? Yes, that is my absolute sanctuary. It was given to me by Mother. I'm not tearing out any pages. The book is mine and will remain mine in its entirety. Well, you are right. I've printed flyers because all this madness has to end. It's going too far. I can't and won't put up with any more of this, and the rest of the crew should go along with me. However, that does not mean I want to kill the captain. There is always stress with superiors, and it is and should also be the right of everyone to name and criticize what is not going well. What do you think? In any case, nobody is immediately killed, despite all the disputes, of course. I demand peace for the employees, nothing more. Well, I don't know. But I hope so. You read them, right? And talking about the shortcomings, that's already a first step. Nah, is this a crab dish, or what? Well, I will do that. What else do you want to talk about? Serving trolley? What serving trolley? Oh, nonsense, Schmidt. And you know it yourself. Who is supposed to be this so-called witness anyway? Yes, because you're lying and just making stuff up. My goodness, you are annoying me right now. Well, I was there. And do you know what I did there? I pissed in the captain's damn tea. Proper nasty. Half a pound of asparagus, not washed for 2 days. Underwear stays on, you know? So that bastard finally learns his lesson. That boundaries have been reached. Yes, isn't it? Be glad you don't have to drink that. There are probably more sexually transmitted diseases swimming in there at the same time than in the Hamburg harbor pool on a Sunday in summer. I wish that the old bastard gets all that itching on his willy before he eventually kicks the bucket. What else do you want to talk about?
A small box of Frisian black tea. The food is already cold. The food for second class doesn't look very appetizing.
Oh, so poopy.
The man is currently...
My mind. What's there to discuss? Tell me.
The man is currently repairing.
Moin. What's there to discuss? Tell me. What kind of question is that? Yes, I was at the trolley. I just wanted to repair something. After all, that's my job. One of the wheels on the serving trolley is broken. I wanted to replace the wheel, but according to the instructions, I didn't have the right tool.
Your fingers start to tingle, and you feel a pull in your stomach. Your keen intuition tells you that there might be something wrong with this statement. Perhaps there is evidence that could expose him.
One of the wheels on the serving trolley is broken. I wanted to replace the wheel, but according to the instructions, I didn't have the right tool. What's there to discuss? Tell me. Do I? Listen, you smart Alec. Stick your nose in other people's business, right? By the way, you stink too. Well, I smell like alcohol because I always have to clean up the bottles that others leave everywhere. That's it. Anything else? What's there to discuss? Tell me. Is this an interrogation, Inspector? Then listen closely. It's all in the past, okay? I was in prison, and there is nothing more to say about it. Out at sea, everyone is equal. Everyone here has done something bad, starting with the captain. But sailors forgive and sailors forget. We pull the same rope and drink the same bottle. Sure, we may not particularly like each other, but still no one digs into each other's past, and you shouldn't either. Even if Eric Clemens thinks he has to portray me as the perpetrator. He was the one, am I right? Hayo Clemens has the key that fits into several doors. Didn't you consider that? Instead, just blame the prisoner. He must have done it right. What's there to discuss? Tell me. Boy, what's this all about now? If that's the case, yes, I was eavesdropping. I saw how someone went into his room with him. I just wanted to hear what they were talking about. But I don't know who that was, and I didn't hear anything either. That's all I can say. Excuse me? I never cry. Enough with this nonsense, or I won't say another word to you. What's there to discuss? Tell me. This question is a bit private, isn't it? What do you want to know? You say? Are there any witnesses? Whoever told you that is lying. Don't be fooled by misinformation, Schmidt. What's there to discuss? Tell me.
You are standing in front. With a slingshot, the life buoy is thrown to the drowning person. The boat boy takes care of...
Yes? What else do you want to talk about? What about it? I have nothing to do with it. The key is needed to do the work. I wouldn't dare to do anything illegal with it. Sure, if Eric needs it, he gets it. Okay, if you say so. But you're also responsible for it now. Don't mess up, please. What else do you want to talk about? Eric, unlike me, still has hope in his heart. And just like me, is pursuing good goals inside. Oh, Eric, without him I'd be lost. All he does is pointing out the abuses on the ship. There's nothing wrong with that. The captain must leave his position. There's no doubt about that. Every effort is worthwhile, even if the flyers are only of limited success. While Piepenbrink, who is indeed the logical successor to the captain, is not my first choice either. But in the end, he's still better than Kroge, that son of a bitch. Excuse my change of words, but I'm completely done with him. That can't be changed anymore, never. What else do you want to talk about? Yes, but what else should I do? It's just that everybody here would be better off if I were dead. The team wouldn't have to deal with me, my brother wouldn't have to worry anymore, and I would be rid of the debts and find peace in heaven with God and my mom. That does sound indeed helpful. These endless humiliations. No one can understand what it's like when you're just sad. I don't feel anything anymore that makes life bearable because I'm stupid. Stupid, simple-minded and naive. I have always believed that playing brings joy to people, but there are these assholes like Kroge who want to destroy everything beautiful just because they carry hatred in their hearts. When I was ready to free myself from everything, this disgusting creature Kroge came into the cabin and saw me. Before he cut me loose, he waited a moment and watched me struggle with my breathing, until the last second when consciousness left me. And then he cut the rope and hit me in the face. To insult me, to shout at me, to threaten me, and to humiliate me. There was no pity. Only this disgusting emptiness and a perverse joy. Why can't I be happy, Schmidt? Why do I have to endure all this? Why does everything have to endure me? And why is Kroge allowed to live when I must die to find peace? To sleep once without fear and without the feeling that the heaviness of my mind is crushing me. That is what I wish for. It's all just getting worse. And as I said earlier, if I weren't in this world, everything would be better. Thank you, Schmidt. I don't want to bother you with it, but I'm glad you're listening to me. Your approaches are strange, but honest. Let's go for it. On 3. 2.
In a personal moment between two men, the frustration and worry are released for a moment. With a slight grin on his lips, apparently triggered by the absurdity of the situation, Hajo Clemens then embraces you and cries. The boat boy takes care.
Yes? What else do you... But of course! Let's go!
You win? One. The lips of the boat boy show an increasing tremor. Sweat runs down his forehead. Victory! A feeling of triumph flows through you. Hajo blinks, gasps for air, then suddenly starts to cry deeply.
Finally someone who understands me. That I always lose is indeed the proof. I am useless. The captain is right when he says I am worthless. He was right, all along. I can understand that he wants to punch me in the face for my infinite worthlessness, as he calls it. Interesting. I must try that.
Hajo Clemens shakes his head warily and lets his broad shoulders slump.
Anyway, here you have your 5 tailors back. You've earned it. What else do you want to talk about?
The boat boy takes care.
Yes? What else?
The boat boy stands.
What?
Also pooping.
You are standing in front of. A piece of wire from which a part has already been detached. The wire disappears into your pocket. It might still be useful. Page 1 is written at the top of the paper. Below that, a necessary tool is mentioned. And below that, someone scribbled, "Get tool." In the corner lies a crumpled piece of paper. It shows a roughly drawn guide on how to repair the wheel of a load cart. Page 2 is written large above it. The man is currently...
Moin. What's there to discuss? Tell me. One of the wheels on the serving trolley is broken. I wanted to replace the wheel, but according to the instructions, I didn't have the right tool. What's there to discuss? Tell me.
Speak. Be quiet.
We love each other.
That's how it is.
The ship is moored to the harbor with mooring lines or steel cables to prevent it from floating away.
Nice smoked fish, and then we'll sit on.
This is a serving trolley. The serving trolley has not been cleaned for a long time. 2 of the 4 rusty wheels are stuck. 1 is half broken out of its bracket.
Each together for the first. Exactly. And do you see where they are?
After all, I also.
The man is currently repairing some things at the rear part of...
Moin. What's there to discuss? One of the wheels on the serving trolley is broken. I wanted to replace the wheel, but according to the instructions, I didn't have the right tool. See? And now leave me alone with the serving trolley. What's there to discuss? Tell me. Why do I have to explain this? I have nothing to do with it. Can't you understand that? It must have been one of the Clemens brothers. Hayo Clemens has a key that lets him into a lot of rooms, including the workshop. You should ask him. What's there to discuss? Tell me.
Today. We sat on the bench together.
The boat boy takes care...
Yes? What else?
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's...
Spit it out. Indeed, whoever wrote it could potentially be the perpetrator. That's one of the cabin boys, right? I don't think it's wrong of him to stand up against injustice and abuse, just hopefully without attempted murder. You need more evidence to find out if it really was him.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger...
Spit it out.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Yes, that's...
The burly man stands in the steering.
What's up? What else do you want to know, my boy? No idea. I don't know anything. I don't care about anything. The kids are old enough. Exactly. What else do you want to know, my...
Miss Van Groot paces up and down restless.
What else is on the tip of your tongue? Let's hear it. Oh, really? This is just a rash. That's none of your business, Valentine. So, am I not allowed to do that? I have nothing to do with that. And you do not seem to hesitate to rummage through other people's bags. He is simply not the man for whom I would cry. You must have read too many books. What you present here proves nothing. Do you truly think I would harm an old, embittered man? The captain is a heavy drinker. He won't last much longer anyway. I am innocent. You can believe me. What else is on the tip of your... What else is on the tip of... Oh, really? This is just a rat. That's... So, am I not... I have... And you do not seem to hesitate to rummage through other people. It looks like I really do owe you an explanation. I was with Captain Kroger last night and, well, I granted him a few wishes. I'm currently on vacation, but I didn't think it was wrong to earn a few coins. I didn't know Kroger was one of those men who enjoy taking them roughly. The wounds on my wrists come from his hands. Hard to believe, isn't it? I took morphine this morning for the pain. That's why I always have the bottle with me. I have encountered many such men, and I am tough. In case things get completely out of hand, I carry a brass knuckle. One should be able to defend oneself, especially as a woman. I enjoy my profession. It allows me a certain freedom and independence, and I would not risk that. Does this help you? I had no choice. You investigated well. And now, I need my peace. Would you excuse...
Miss Van Groot paces up.
What else?
The doctor checks Captain...
Spit it out!
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Would you like to confront the person responsible? Then we should all gather for the prosecution. You present your arguments and the guilty party will be held accountable.
The crew gathers in the dining room. In the middle lies the captain. He appears as if he is peacefully waiting for death, with his breathing so slowly. Next to him stands the doctor, his trousers crumpled, his hair tousled.
As you already know, the captain is in acute danger of his life. After he collapsed at the table, Mr. Schmidt and I had to conclude, based on some facts, that this is most likely an attempted murder. Schmidt's investigations have now yielded a result. Whoever is responsible for the captain's condition must be punished. Schmidt, reveal the culprit.
A murmur runs through the assembled crowd, and all eyes turn to Emil Barkov, who is close to tears.
But I haven't done anything.
Calm down, Barkov. We need to clarify this. And you, Schmidt, you are not the chosen horse. So how will you come to the conclusion that Barkov is guilty? Please start from the beginning, would you?
The bystanders begin to murmur. All eyes turn to Kroger, who lies motionless on the ground. Only if you look very closely, you can see his chest slowly rising and falling. Emil shakes his head wildly.
Emil Barkov, you are caught. Once the ship is at the port, you will be handed over to the police.
Thick tears gather in Emil's eyes. He lowers his head without resistance, while his slender body trembles. Piepenbrink places his heavy hand on his shoulder, half as a warning and half as a soothing gesture.
I didn't want to do something like that. I like the captain.
The prosecution is hereby terminated.
For a moment, a bodiless silence fills the room. Just a liberating fart, meant to sweep away worries and frustrations, resonates through the silence. Hajo Clemens smiles slightly and gives you a quick glance. While the recent events leave the bystanders speechless, the doctor turns back to the captain. Knut Binge rushes to help the doctor and holds the captain's head.
My goodness, what an excitement. I'm glad that everything has been cleared up. The captain can be helped, and worse has been prevented. Please pass me the medication quickly.
Knut Binge securely reaches to the left.
No, not there. The medications are on your right.
The treatment that the captain needs now is here, or lies here.
Let it be my concern, if you don't mind.
The doctor is about to speak up in the urgency of the task when Knut Binge picks up a knife that is lying on the floor and rams it into the captain's heart with merciless harshness. With one final gasp, life leaves the captain's body, while at the same time the room fills with terror and horror.
For God's sake!
By God, he has a knife!
You!
Knut Binge's hateful gaze stares at Kirsten van Groot. His eyes are marked by a vagueness that reveals nothing but sheer anger.
Put the knife down!
As if he had stepped into a hornet's nest, Knut Binge flails around with the knife in his hand, screaming. The surrounding people all step back in fear and can hardly process what they are witnessing until suddenly the blade comes to a rest in the air as if time had frozen. The tip points at Kirsten van Groot. She stares at the tip of the knife, at the very front of which the captain's blood drips. Behind it, Knut Binge's terrifying grimace emerges as it suddenly begins to speak.
Love! True love! Do you know what that is, Kirsten?
Knut, I beg you.
Shut up, you stupid bitch! Do you know what love is?
I...
Love is a weapon in the hands of women. Love is the gun that shoots through the hearts of those who go to war for a good cause and still lose. Love is the poison that kills you by making you feel that you must live alone. You are my war, Kirsten. You carry the gun. You have given the world the order to shoot me, but I resist.
But
No buts! You keep quiet and listen. I have done everything for you. Everything! I've seen your suffering. I heard you when you were lonely. I stood by you when you slept and watched over you. I wanted to free you from all the evil. Would have left everything and everyone for you. And what do? Let yourself be mounted by that filthy captain like cheap livestock. You were supposed to be mine alone. But you chose the path of the whore, and now I will show you where that path ends. If I can't have you, then no one shall!
I belong to no one. You sick, perverted piece of filth. You are sick. Do you understand? Oh, what have you done? What have you done?
I have loved. That was my mistake.
You notice Knut Binge is starting to move. With a scream that without context no one would associate to a human being, Knut Binge rushes towards Kirsten van Groot with the knife outstretched. Your blow hits its target with shattering force. The sight that unfolds before your eyes fades into a diffuse vision that tries to make you understand that what you saw could be comprehensible and bearable for humans. It fails. Knut Binge's face is no more, and his life also poured out from the terrible wound into the silence of the moment. Screams echo. Kirsten van Groot wipes it off her face as she collapses with trembling knees.
Enough now! Stop! Everyone! Damn it! Piepenbrink, bring the ship to the port immediately! Schmidt, accompany Miss Van Groot to the bar and wait there! You there! Help me with the wounded! This is unbelievable!
The doctor checks Captain...
Spit it up.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's...
Would you like to confront the person responsible? Then we should all...
The crew gathers in the dining room, next to him.
As you all... Schmidt's investigations have now yielded a result. Whoever is responsible...
A murmur runs through the assembled crowd.
What? Are you a few cards short of a full deck? Accusing me like that? I can't believe it.
First of all, shut up, Binge. We need to sort this out.
All eyes turn to Kroge, who lies motionless on the ground. Only if you look very... Surprised looks meet Knut Binge. Emil's vigorous nodding is interrupted by a deadly look from Binge. Binge suddenly becomes restless. For a moment, Kirsten and Binge's gazes meet. She resolutely looks away, but her cheeks are glowing. The sudden silence is palpable.
Knut Binge, you are caught. Once the ship is at the port, you will be handed over to the police.
Who helped you? Who on the ship betrayed me? Schmidt, spit it out! Who was this witness?
Emil Barkov gives you a deeply grateful look. Piepenbrink grabs Knut Binge's arms and pulls them behind his back.
Shut up now, Binge.
The prosecution is hereby terminated.
For a moment, silence fills the room. Just a liberating fart, meant to... While the recent events leave the bystanders speechless, the doctor turns back to the captain.
My goodness, what an excitement. I'm glad that everything has been cleared up. The captain can be helped, and worse has been prevented. Please pass me the medication quickly.
As you reach for the medication, a scream sounds behind you. Unable to pinpoint exactly where the scream came from, you do recognize that Knut Binge has managed to break free from the grip of his guards. In slow motion, the image of him angrily rushing forward unfolds before you. Picks up a knife that's lying on the floor and rams it into the captain's heart with merciless harshness. With one final gasp, life leaves the captain's body.
For God's sake!
By God, he has a knife!
You!
Knut Binge's hate...
Put the knife down!
As if he had stepped into a hornet's nest. She stares at the tip.
Love! True!
Knut, I bet...
Shut up! You stupid...
I...
Love is a weapon in the hands of... You are...
But I...
No buts! You keep... Let yourself be mounted...
I belong...
I have loved...
You notice Knut Binge is starting to move. With a... Your blow hits its target with shattering force. The sight that unfolds before your eyes fades into a diffuse vision that tries to make you understand that what you saw could be comprehensible and bearable for humans. It fails. Knut Binge's face is no more. And screams echo. Kirsten van Gro...
Enough now! Stop! Everyone! Damn it! People...
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Would you let... Then we should all...
The crew gathers in the... Next to him.
As you all... Schmidt's investigations have now yielded a result. Whoever is responsible for the captain's condition must be punished. Schmidt...
A murmur runs through the assembled crew.
You cannot be serious, Valentine.
Schmidt.
All eyes turn to Kroger. Kirsten van Groot lifts her chin, but the situation is
Kroger, this filthy pig.
Kirsten van Groot, you are caught.
Please, you can't do that. You are wrong.
Piepenbring's hand makes a move toward Kirsten's shoulder, but she gracefully dodges and angrily crosses her arms in front of her chest.
I told you exactly what happened. I trusted you, Valentine. How could you still not believe me? Or do you just want to see a whore in prison?
The prosecution is hereby terminated.
For a moment, a bodiless silence, while the recent events leave the bystanders speechless.
My goodness, what an excitement. I'm glad that everything has been cleared up. The captain can...
Knut Binge securely reaches to the...
No, not there.
The treatment...
Let it be my concern.
The doctor is about to speak up. Knut Binge rams it into the captain's heart with one...
For God's...
By God...
You!
Knut Binge's hateful gaze...
Put the knife down!
As if he had stepped into a hornet's nest. She stares at the...
Love!
Knut,
Shut up! You stupid bitch!
Love is a weapon in the hands of women. Love is the gun that shoots through the heart. You are my war, Kirsten. You carry the gun.
But
No buts! You keep... Let yourself be mounted by that filthy captain like cheap livestock. You were supposed to be...
I belong...
I have
You notice Knut Binge is starting to move. With a scream that without context no one would associate to a human being, Knut Binge rushes towards... The force of your body knocks him off course. Dazed, he staggers around. Without even flinching, Hermann Piepenbrink grabs Knut Binge by the hair, pulls it back, grabs a bottle of rum, smashes it on the table, and shoves it into Knut Binge's throat.
And now piss off to where you belong.
Like a sack of waste, Hermann Piepenbrink throws the dead body of Knut Binge on the ground before turning away and grabbing a bottle of rum.
Enough now! Stop! Everyone! Damn it! Piepenbrink, bring the ship to the port immediately! Schmidt, accompany Miss Van Groot to the bar and wait there! You there! Help me with the wounded! This is unbelievable!
The doctor
Then we should...
The crew... Next...
As you... Schmidt's investigations have now yielded a result. Whoever is responsible for the captain's...
A murmur runs through the assembled group, and all eyes turn to Eric and Hayo Clemens.
Wait a moment. We haven't done anything.
First of all, shut up, Clemens. We need to sort...
All eyes...
That's not true!
I was only at...
Eric and Hayo Clemens, you are caught. Once the...
You've got the wrong guys, Schmidt. It wasn't us.
How can you accuse us? You heard what Hayo had to go through and how he feels. Do you want to ruin our lives even more? We are the victims here, not the perpetrators.
Let it be, Eric. Schmidt really helped me feel better.
But...
Piepenbrink grabs Eric Clemens' arms and pulls them behind his back. Tears shoot into Hayo's eyes.
That's all my fault.
The prosecution is hereby terminated.
For a moment, a body... While the recent...
My goodness, what a...
Knut Binge... The doctor... Knut... With one...
For God...
By God...
Knut Binge...
Shut! You...
But
No! Let's...
I
have...
You notice Knut Binge is starting to move. Your efforts missed their target. Knut Binge continues to advance towards Kirsten Van Groot, unfazed by your attempt to stop him. Kirsten's eyes widen in horror. Binge is almost at Kirsten. Your thoughts are racing. What could surprise him so much that he stumbles? Knut Binge's gaze shoots in your direction. His running motion falters. He stumbles and falls to the ground. Without even flinching, Hermann Piepenbrink grabs Knut Binge by the hair, pulls it back.
No, piss off.
Like a sack of waste, Hermann Piepenbrink throws the dead body of Knut Binge on the ground before turning away and grabbing a bottle of...
Enough now! Stop!
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Would you like to... Then we should all...
The crew gathers in the... A murmur. All eyes.
Kirsten Van...
For a moment, well, the dog...
For God's sake!
As...
But I
have...
You notice Knut Binge start... Your efforts missed. Knut Binge continued. Kirsten's eyes. Binge is almost at Kirsten. The terrible situation unfolding before your eyes does not allow a single word to leave your lips. Binge reaches Kirsten. His knife is only a few centimeters away from her chest when she forcefully rams her knee between his legs. Screaming, Binge collapses.
A room full of men and no one can stop this madman. You're all a disappointment.
No, piss off to where you belong.
Like a sack of waste, Hermann Piepenbrink throws the dead body of Knut Binge on the ground before turning...
Enough now! Stop!